How cats react to kindness over time. There is something quietly powerful about the way cats respond to kindness. It rarely happens suddenly, and almost never in a dramatic moment. Instead, it appears slowly, like a silent change in the atmosphere of a room. A cat that generally kept its distance may start sitting closer. A cautious pair of eyes may soften in ways that are easy to miss if you are not paying attention. A creature that once lived behind invisible walls may gradually begin to accept someone into its world. What makes this transition so wonderful is that cats do not simply react to kindness in the moment. They remember it. Over days, weeks, and sometimes even years, small gestures of patience and gentleness begin to leave subtle marks on a cat's mind, slowly reshaping how they see the human beside them. Welcome back to CatFactsFunny. In today's episode, we explore a quiet but deep question. How do cats respond to kindness over time? Because in the cat world, kindness is not just an action. It is a language that slowly establishes trust. The first stage, observation. When a cat first encounters kindness, the reaction is often far more subtle than people expect. Unlike animals that respond immediately with excitement or affection, cats tend to approach unfamiliar emotional signals with patience and careful observation. Imagine a shy cat entering a room where a person is sitting quietly. The human speaks softly, moves slowly, perhaps places a bowl of food nearby without making sudden gestures. The cat notices all of it. Every tone of voice, every movement, every moment of stillness becomes part of a quiet evaluation. From the outside, it may appear as though nothing is happening at all. The cat may remain across the room, watching with cautious eyes, maintaining a distance that feels safe. Yet inside the cat's mind, something important has already begun. Cats evolved as both hunters and vulnerable creatures within complex environments, and this history shaped their instinct to study situations before reacting to them. When kindness appears, they do not immediately accept it. Instead, they begin gathering small pieces of evidence. Is the human predictable? Do their movements remain gentle day after day? Does their presence bring calm rather than chaos? In this early stage, kindness becomes a pattern that the cat quietly observes. And once that pattern remains consistent long enough, curiosity begins to emerge. The second stage, curiosity. After repeated experiences of calm interaction, many cats begin shifting from quiet observation to something slightly more active. Curiosity slowly replaces hesitation. The cat that once stayed across the room may begin lingering nearby, perhaps sitting at the far end of the same couch or choosing a spot on the floor where they can watch more closely. These movements are small, often subtle enough that they pass unnoticed, but they represent an important shift in the cat's emotional landscape. Curiosity means the cat is no longer simply avoiding the situation. Instead, they are beginning to explore it. You may notice the cat approaching briefly before retreating again, or pausing to sniff the air as they pass by. Sometimes they will watch the human closely, studying facial expressions and tone of voice as if solving a quiet puzzle. In the language of feline psychology, curiosity is the first real doorway to trust. The cat is no longer asking only whether the environment is safe. Now they are asking something deeper. Is this kindness something that can be believed? The answer does not arrive in a single moment. It arrives gradually through repetition. The third stage, emotional memory. One of the most fascinating elements of feline behavior is the way cats form emotional associations with the experiences around them. Over time, cats begin linking certain people, places, and sounds with specific feelings. When kindness repeats itself day after day, the cat begins building an emotional memory connected to that person's presence. The human voice becomes familiar rather than uncertain. The movements become predictable rather than threatening. The atmosphere surrounding that individual becomes associated with comfort. At this stage, small behavioral changes often begin appearing. A cat who once avoided the room may now choose to stay while the human is present. They might begin greeting their person at the door or quietly following them from one space to another. These behaviors may seem simple, but they represent a profound psychological shift. The cat is beginning to associate the human not just with safety, but with emotional stability. In the world of cats, this is a significant step toward trust. The fourth stage, trust. Trust in cats rarely arrives with dramatic displays. It is usually revealed through the smallest and most peaceful gestures. A cat that trusts someone may sit comfortably with their back turned toward them, an action that signals the absence of fear. They may stretch out fully in the same room, allowing their body to relax without tension. Some cats begin closing their eyes slowly while resting near their human, entering a state of calm vulnerability that would never occur in a threatening environment. In feline communication, these behaviors carry powerful meaning. Even the well-known slow blink can become a quiet expression of trust. When a cat slowly closes and opens their eyes while looking at someone, it is often interpreted as a sign of comfort and affection. In that moment, the cat is signaling that they feel safe enough to lower their guard. This stage represents the culmination of many small experiences repeated over time. Kindness has slowly transformed from an unfamiliar signal into a trusted presence. The fifth stage, seeking connection. Once trust forms fully, something beautiful often begins to happen. The cat that once observed from a distance may start actively seeking connection. They may jump onto the couch beside their human or settle near their feet during quiet moments of the evening. Some cats develop gentle routines, appearing at the same time each day to sit nearby or follow their person from room to room simply to remain close. These actions are not accidental. They reflect the cat's internal recognition that this human has become part of their safe world. Interestingly, many cats begin mirroring the emotional tone of the person they trust. In a calm household, the cat often becomes calmer as well. When spoken to gently, they respond with soft vocalizations or relaxed body language. Over time, kindness reshapes not only the cat's perception of the human, but also the emotional rhythm of the relationship itself. Why time matters so much. One of the most common misunderstandings about cats is the belief that affection must appear quickly to be genuine. In reality, feline relationships are rarely built in sudden bursts of emotion. Cats rely on consistency rather than intensity. What matters most is not a single moment of kindness but the steady repetition of it. A calm voice that never becomes harsh. Gentle movements that remain predictable. Respect for the cat's boundaries and personal space. These patterns create a stable emotional environment that allows trust to grow naturally. Once that foundation exists, the bond between a cat and a human can become remarkably deep. Some cats even develop quiet forms of loyalty, choosing to remain near the people who have shown them patience and respect. The beauty of patience. Perhaps the most meaningful lesson cats offer is the value of patience. In a world that often rewards speed and instant results, cats remind us that some relationships unfold slowly for a reason. Trust grows best when it is never forced. When kindness is offered without expectation, and attention is given without pressure, the cat remains free to open their world at their own pace. Over time, this gentle approach creates something genuine. The bond that forms between a patient human and a trusting cat carries a sincerity that cannot be rushed. It develops through quiet moments, through repeated gestures of calm, and through the simple decision to remain kind even when the response takes time to appear. Kindness over time. If you share your life with a cat, there is a good chance you have already witnessed this transformation without fully realizing it. A once distant animal gradually becoming a quiet companion. A cautious gaze softening into calm familiarity. A creature often described as independent choosing, again and again, to stay nearby. These moments reveal something simple yet powerful about the feline mind. Kindness may seem small when it happens, but over time it becomes something much greater. In the world of cats, kindness is remembered. It shapes emotions, builds trust, and sometimes turns a distant observer into a lifelong friend. If you enjoy exploring the quiet psychology behind feline behavior, you are always welcome here at CatFactsFunny. where we look beyond the obvious and discover the subtle emotional world that cats live in every day. And if you would like to continue learning about the instincts, signals, and fascinating behaviors that shape the lives of our feline companions, consider subscribing and joining us for future episodes. Because the more we begin to understand cats, the more extraordinary they begin to seem. Until next time.